Is the Biden administration really just committed and unmitigated in their daily lying? Do they really live in some type of alternate reality where they can't actually see what's happening? Or do they just think that you and I are just completely stupid? And at this point, aren't you sick and tired of being insulted every day, intellectually, mentally, and emotionally by this psycho Jen Psaki and her mindless, rambling, babbling press conferences? Enough is enough. Isn't that right, Dr. Fauci? Enough is enough.
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded.
As we watch the fallout from the Afghan withdrawal, and again, let's be really clear, the issue is not leaving Afghanistan. President Trump wanted to leave Afghanistan. He had worked out a timetable to be out of there by May the 1st. Well, see, look what happened. We would have been a disaster. No, it was already worked out. A treaty had already been agreed to. It was the Biden administration that came in and decided, we're not going to honor the May 1st. We're going to push it back to by September the 11th. And so right away, they broke the treaty. And that triggered the events that we're now dealing with. But I will tell you this about President Trump. Though he was committed to ending this endless war, this 20-year war in Afghanistan, I can tell you this, as troops began to be drawn down and leave, if he caught any inkling whatsoever that everything was going to completely fall apart, the withdrawal would have stopped and immediately they would have resecured, especially making for safe passage for Americans and for American allies, people who stuck their neck out for the last 20 years, and we just leave them high and dry. But according to Jen Psaki, no one is stranded there.
Does the president have a sense that most of the criticism is not of leaving Afghanistan, it's the way that he has ordered it to happen by pulling the troops before getting these Americans who are now stranded? Does he have a sense of that?
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded.
The threat is real, it is acute, it is persistent, and it is something that we are focused on with every tool in our arsenal.
There are still at least several thousand Americans stranded in Afghanistan.
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded.
In her full statement, she said, anybody that wants to leave can leave. So we're supposed to believe that the thousands of Americans that are still there want to be? They want to be hunted by the Taliban? They want to be dragged into the streets, perhaps shot, beaten, raped, molested? And she's saying this stuff with a straight face. We're tweeting these people every day. We're texting them. We're calling them on the phone. Really? They can leave. All they got to do is get to the airport. Oh, well, that's a little bit of a challenge right now. British forces went in to help Americans get out because we didn't go get our own. Representative Cawthorn from North Carolina had this to say to President Biden and his delusional foreign policy.
Madam Speaker, the Taliban is emboldened today. They have found a new reason to cry death to America. That reason is Joe Biden. His foreign policy is not America first, it's Taliban first. Mr. President, listen carefully, and I'll say it slowly just for you. No man left behind. That's leadership. Here's my pledge to the Taliban. You may chant death to America today, but mark my words, the levers of power will be in strong hands soon. If you harm an American, we will rain down vengeance upon you with the wrath and fury that will put the fires of hell to shame. Psalm 91 promises us that God will be our refuge and our fortress. But you do not worship my God or heed his promises. So when we come for you, there will be no refuge, no cave, no crevice you can crawl into that will save you from our wrath. So to those who hate America and all that we stand for, read my lips. I am young and I have a long memory. When power in Washington inevitably shifts, we will not forget you because we're in the business of killing terrorists. And pretty soon, business will be booming.
So while we have this mounting crisis in Afghanistan, And you got Jen Psaki out there talking about, we lead the world. No, we don't. These images are far worse than the Saigon images when I was a kid in 1975. We have the crisis on our southern border. What is Biden interested in? Got to mask your 5-year-old and constantly come out every day and tell the governor of Florida you're killing people. Really? Really? That's what we're going to do now. They're scared to death Ron DeSantis is going to run for president. And they're terrified he could actually get himself elected. So this is why they go after Ron DeSantis every day. And Ron DeSantis doesn't take it. And he gives it and he pushes and he punches right back. And he had this to say to the president: don't worry about what we're doing here in Florida regarding COVID. Worry more about what's happening on the southern border and in Afghanistan.
You look around the country, you look around the world right now. I mean, we have Americans that are just being hung out to dry in Afghanistan. We've got billions of dollars of military equipment that's basically just being gifted to terrorist groups, things that the taxpayers paid for, things that our men and women used. You look at the border, people just pouring in. They don't even tell you where they're bringing these people. We figured out they've dumped people in Jacksonville, some of these other places. It's totally out of control. We've never seen anything like what we're seeing now. You look at inflation, the prices are going out of control, particularly gas prices. That's putting a huge hamper on working people, having to pay so much when they're going to get gas. So you have all these problems, and yet the White House and Biden, their number one issue is they're so intent on having the government force kindergartners, first graders to have to wear masks for 8 hours a day. They want to take that decision away from the parent, and they want to vest that in local government. We obviously think the parents are the ones under our state law with the Parents' Bill of Rights that have that decision. But put that aside, of all the things you could be dealing with, you're choosing to do this and basically just playing footsie with the unions to try to create political issues. It's a lack of leadership. And meanwhile, while all the world burns and while parts of our country burn, you have this obsession that a little 5-year-old, should not be able to go to school without wearing that mask for 8 hours a day. And just as a parent, I'm offended that the federal government thinks that they know better than we do as parents. And in Florida, we want to make sure that we're standing by our parents. Thanks, everybody. We'll see ya.
But hey, everything's okay in Afghanistan. Isn't that right, Jen Psaki?
First of all, I think it's irresponsible to say Americans are stranded.
Hey, that's it for today's rant. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell. Click the word all to get notification of my next rant. And the link below, hot topic, brand new video up there today exclusively on Rumble about President Biden and Dr. Fauci working together. Vaccine mandate. You will not be able to work without it. I can't deal with that subject here. You've got to go to Rumble. Check it out.